Chapter 2. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of valor, of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, Let me now go to the field, and glean among the ears of corn, after him in whose sight I shall find favor. And she said unto her, Go, my daughter. And she went, and came, and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and her hap was to light on the portion of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was of the family of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered him, The Lord bless you. Then said Boaz unto his servants that was set over the reapers, Whose damsel is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, It is a Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the field of Moab. And she said, Let me glean, I pray you, and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came, and hath continued even from the morning until now, save that she tarried a little in the house. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest you not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither pass from here, but abide here fast by my maidens. Let thine eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go you after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch you? And when you art athirst, go unto the vessels, and drink of that which the young men have drawn. Then she fell on her face, and bowed down to the ground, and said unto him, Why have I found favor in your sight, that you should take cognizance of me, seeing I am a foreigner? And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been told me, all that you have done unto your mother-in-law, since the death of your husband, and how you have left your father and your mother, and the land of your nativity, and art come unto the people that you knewest not heretofore. The Lord recompense your work, and be your reward complete from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you art come to take refuge. Then she said, Let me find favor in your sight, my Lord, for that you have comforted me, and for that you have spoken to the heart of your handmaid, though I be not as one of your handmaidens. And Boaz said unto her at mealtime, Come here, and eat of the bread, and dip your morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and they reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was satisfied, and left thereof. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, Let her glean even among the sheaves, and put her not to shame, and also pull out some for her of purpose from the bundles, and leave it, and let her glean, and rebuke her not. So she gleaned in the field until even, and she beat out that which she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it up, and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her that which she had left after she was satisfied. And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where have you gleaned today, and where worked you? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of you. And she told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked, and said, The man's name with whom I work today is Boaz. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is nigh of kin unto us, one of our new kinsmen. And Ruth the Moabitess said, Yes, he said unto me, You shall be fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. And Naomi said unto Ruth her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his maidens, and that you be not met in another field. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz, to glean unto the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, and she dwelt with her mother-in-law. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Now we remember yesterday we started this book of Ruth. Ruth is means the female companion, or this friend in a feminine sense, and that would be where we would get the female companion. We found out she is the daughter-in-law of Naomi. Naomi was a woman who was married to one of the sons of Ephrathah, or one of the sons of Ephraim. His name was Elimelech. And Elimelech and Ruth had went off to Moab, or to the area of Moab, due to a famine in the area, and we'll find that Elimelech died, but not before him and Naomi had two sons. One was named Machlon and Chilion, who took wives, and then they later died. And that's how Ruth came into the picture. She was one of the wives of either Machlon or Chilion. Of course, there was another daughter-in-law there as well. And one returned back to her ways and her doings, and she went back to Moab, or back among the people of Moab. And I believe I made a mistake yesterday, and that I said he is of his father, but it means she of her father is what it means. And we're talking about Moab because that's who Moab was. He was this son who was born of between Lot and his daughter. So keeping that in mind, we're going to move forward now, and where Naomi has just returned, her and Ruth, from Moab, after being there for a period of 10 years. They have returned now, and they'll come back to Bethlehem, that house of bread, and it's at the beginning of the harvest, even this barley harvest, or right at the beginning of the year. And Naomi, and we'll pick it up here in verse 1, and Naomi had a kinsman of her husband, a mighty man of valor, of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. So we're going to go ahead and introduce Boaz. Boaz means swiftly or quickly, and it's in a reference to a way we come, and a way that we would come, and we would come running, or we would come crawling, but Boaz means we would be running, we would be coming quickly and swiftly. And he was of the family, he was a kinsman, even this kinsman. This word here is modah, and it means it's a relative in the sense of knowing, So he was of the family, even a relative, even in the sense of having understanding of Elimelech, and my mighty one is king. That's what this means. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, Let me now go to the field, and glean among the ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find favor. And she said unto her, Go, my daughter. So Ruth means this female companion. She was the Moabitess. She was the one of her father, or this one who was born from Moab, this one of her father, said unto Naomi. Naomi is once again this my pleasantness, my pleasantness. She is my favor, my delight, whatever, in that sense of understanding. Let me go now to the field and glean among the ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find favor. Of course, we know she's not going to go glean among the ears of corn. Why? It is barley harvest, and we'll not find no corn growing in the barley. So what corn in here is shavol, and this means it's a flowing stream. It's a flowing stream, and this flowing stream is in reference to these fields of grain. Even the heads of these grain, when the wind blows, it looks like a flowing stream of gold. And that's what this word means. It doesn't mean corn or ears of corn, but we're talking about these little barley heads, and we're going to find as we move on, it's the wheat. After him whose sight I shall find favor. And she said, Go, my daughter. So Ruth and Naomi, Ruth saying to Naomi, Let me go into the fields and try and find favor now with whom I'm going to, gleaning as she goes. We'll find she is going to be gleaning in the field, and gleaning means she's just picking up some scraps. She's picking up what falls out on the ground. 3, and she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And her hap was to light on the portion of the field belonging unto Boaz, and who was of the family of Elimelech. And she has come now to this field where the reapers or the harvesters are working in the field, and her hap, or she just happened to come to this portion of field belonging to Boaz. This hap was to light upon the portion. This is a poetic way of saying she has come to this part of the field that belongs to Boaz. It's not a way we would speak anymore, but it was, and it's not actually in the correct context. It was written, and it was written more like in the context which we would speak today. And this portion of this field, this that is around, we're going to find out this that was about around the area thereof of Bethlehem, this house of bread, and it belonged to Boaz, this one who comes swiftly, and he was of the family, he was of the relatives of Elimelech, my mighty one is king. 4. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered him, The Lord bless you. So now Boaz, he's come to his field, where the workers are gathering the harvest, even this barley harvest. They're about Bethlehem. He come from Bethlehem, this house of bread. And he told the workers there, The Lord be with you. Let the Lord bless you in your work. And they answered him and said, Let the Lord bless you. This was a greeting back then, and though this greeting is would be custom even in most all places you would go even today, one form or another. 5. Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, Whose damsel is this? And Boaz said unto his servant, these ones who was working there in the field, even this portion that belonged to him, Whose damsel is this? And this word damsel, this is means young woman, and that's what it means. Whose young woman is this? Is this somebody's wife, or where did she come from? 6. And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, It is a Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the field of Moab. So the servant, this one even who was over the reapers, who was set over the ones who was gathering in the harvest, answered and said, It is this Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the field of Moab. This is the young woman, this one from her father, even Moab. This young woman from around there, who came back with Naomi, who came back with the pleasantness, this one who even had been out around the fields of Moab, out and around the area of her father, and she said, Let me glean. 7. And she said, Let me glean, I pray you, and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came, and hath continued even from morning until now, except that she tarried a little in the house. And she said, Ruth did, Let me glean, I pray you, and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. And these sheaves are, where they would cut down the stalks. They would cut the stalks of grain out, and they'd gather them up into bundles, and then they'd tie these bundles up, and these became the sheaves. And they would stack these up, and then later they would come along and load these up, and take them to the threshing floor to be threshed out, to remove the grain from the hull. And they would gather these sheaves, and she's asked to, if she can come and gather there that which falls off, that falls on the ground, and they just keep on, they keep on working. Of course, there's a piece lost here and there, and some of the heads fall off, and some of the grain falls out. And these that gather this up are called, they are the gleaners. So she's come and she's worked there from early in the morning when the sun comes up, and she's stayed and she's tarried all the day, except for a little while she has worked in the house. And that house would probably be where she was helping them prepare. 8. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest you not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither pass from here, but abide here, fast, by my maidens. Then said Boaz, this one who comes quickly unto Ruth, this female companion, hear you not, my daughter? And this hearest you not, my daughter, means don't listen to anybody else, what anybody else has said. See, don't go listen to everybody. Go not to glean in another field. Go not to glean in nobody else's fields. Neither pass from here, neither go from here where you're at, but abide here fast by my maidens. Abide here quick now, right here where you're at, by my maidens, these ones who are working for me. 9. And let your eyes be on the field, that they do reap, and go you after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch you? And when you are athirst, go unto the vessels, and drink of that which the young men have drawn. So Boaz tells her, don't listen to nobody else, what anybody's told you. You keep your eyes here on my fields, and that these ones here I have working for me are reaping, and go after them, stay here with them. And I have charged the young men, all these that are here, that they shall not touch you. And when you are athirst, go unto the vessels, and drink that which the young men have drawn. So when you get thirsty, you just go over there and drink from these vessels that these young men have drawn, these strong ones, even without knowledge, have brought up this water, because that's who they was using in the fields to work. 10. Then she fell on her face and bowed down to the ground, and said unto him, Why have I found favor in your sight, that you should take cognizance of me, seeing I am a foreigner? Why have I found favor, she says, after she falls down on her face, and this is a form of humility, and that's what she was showing on this face. She was falling down in her understanding before him, wondering why she had found favor in his sight, that you should take cognizance, and this, or recognition of me, or that you should notice me, seeing I am a foreigner. She says, even knowing, you know that I am a foreigner, not from here. 11. And here we're going to find out, see, that there's other laws here. We got this law of the foreigner, law of the one that works, law of this one who sojourns even among you. Even these we find that God brings, God sends, because this respecter of person you can't be, because we'll find, see, God has a way of working in everybody. 11. And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been told me all that you have done unto your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you have left your father and your mother and the land of your nativity, and art come unto a people that you knew not heretofore. And Boaz tells her and answers her and says, I've all been told. It's all been fully told me, all that you've done unto your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. He's done heard all about it. Bethlehem was probably not a big town at that time. The city, it is a city. And this is a talk because they are family. So all this talk, all this understanding's already about. He knows exactly who she is, and he lets her know that I know exactly who you are, and it's all been told me how you've left your father and your mother. And this isn't a similitude. This isn't a reference to this one you was born from, and this one of who give you your understanding, this father and this mother, even the land of your nativity where you were born, and have come to this people that you knew not, because we'll find, see, that Israel, even at that time, had been separated greatly by God, and she had come to this people that she knew not heretofore. She'd never been around them before. 12. The Lord recompense your work, and be your reward complete from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you art come to take refuge. And the Lord recompense your work, or the Lord justly rewards your work. See, and this work that she does, even reaping there among the harvest, and be your reward complete from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you art come to take refuge. and be your reward complete from the Lord, the God of Israel, because God does control all things, and under whose wings you are come to take refuge. These things that God spreads forth, even his understanding. See, the law of God spreading forth. And that's where you take refuge at. 13. Then she said, Let me find favor in your sight, my Lord, for that you have comforted me, and for that you have spoken to the heart of your handmaid, though I be not as one of your handmaids. Then she said, Let me find favor in your sight, my Lord, for that you have comforted me. You've comforted me in that you have spoken to the heart of your handmaid. So she's comforted in his words because he has welcomed her in, even though she's not of their family, she's not of that of Israel. She is a Moabitish woman, and this that and their customs are different, their traditions were different, and this was his way of letting her come in. See, he spoke to her heart even, because she had some understanding. She has been with Naomi for 10 years. 14. And Boaz said unto her at mealtime, Come here and eat of the bread, and dip your morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and they reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was satisfied, and left thereof. And Boaz, this one that comes swiftly, said unto her at mealtime, and this is that time of around the mid-meal time, probably this time of eating at the lunch. Come here and eat your bread, eat your portion, even that which nourishes, and dip your morsel in this vinegar. And this vinegar it's probably not vinegar. It's going to be that which may have been a little bitter, but it's probably going to be a seasoning even, this morsel, whether it be bread or meat. And she sat beside the reapers, and they reached her parched corn. And this parched corn, that parched even, that which has been scorched, corn, even of the last harvest, and she did eat, and was satisfied, and left thereof. And she had her fill even, see, and there was more left when she finished eating. 15. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, Let her glean, even among the sheaves, and put her not to shame. And when she was risen up to glean, she had went forth from there to go glean. Boaz, this one even comes swiftly, commanded his young men, these ones who was working in the field for him, saying, Let her glean, even among the sheaves, and put her not to shame. And let her glean even among the sheaves, even among these that you gather, see, these that you are gathering into these bundles, and put her not to shame. Let nobody say no harsh words to her. Let nobody treat her roughly. 16. And also pull out some for her of purpose from the bundles, and leave it, and let her glean, and rebuke her not. And also, see, pull out some for her of purpose from the bundles, and leave it, and leave them there. See that she can glean these and pick these up as she comes, and rebuke her not, speak no hard words against her for doing it. See, because she's gleaning among the harvesters, this female companion will find out. See, that's what Ruth is. So she gleaned in the field until even, and she beat out that which she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah barley. So she gleans, and she continues gleaning in the fields all day until evening. And she beats out that which she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah barley. About this ephah of barley, and this is that little bit of a dry measure, remember? That ephah, that little bit of dry measure, even that little bit of law that goes with the flesh, see, of that barley, of that beginnings even of harvest, those harvests even of understanding. 18, and she took it up, and she went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her that which she had left after she was satisfied. So she has come back from the fields, and she has come back to the city now, Bethlehem, that house of bread, and she's come to her mother-in-law, And this mother-in-law, even this one who gives her new understanding in the law, saw that she had gleaned. And she brought forth and gave to her that which she had left after she was satisfied. So she had gleaned quite a bit, even this ephah. So she had eaten and given everything that was left over, see, even to her mother-in-law. 19. And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where have you gleaned today? And where worked you, or where wroughtest you? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of you. And she told her mother-in-law, with whom she had worked, and said, This man's name whom I work today is Boaz. And Naomi, her mother-in-law, this even her understandings in the law, says unto her, Where have you gleaned today? Where have you been gleaning, or picking up after, coming after the harvesters, picking up that which falls? And where worked you? Blessed be he that did not take knowledge of you, or blessed be he that did take knowledge of you. This one who paid attention to you would be blessed, we'll find it. And because she was sent there to work among the reapers, and she told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked, and said, The man's name with whom I work today is Boaz. And Boaz, this man whom she was working in the field of, is this one who comes quickly. 20. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is nigh of kin unto us, one of our near kinsmen. So Naomi, the pleasantness, Naomi, this mother-in-law of Ruth, her female companion, says unto her daughter-in-the-law. And this daughter-in-law, the daughter, once again, is this female, this one who goes forth to receive seed and bring forth unto. See, that's what this daughter represents, this one who receives seed and brings it back to the understanding even. Blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. Because see, we're going to see that God has the ability to raise up, because we're seeing here not only this kinsman redeemer, but the purposes of it is to restore unto life that which is already dead, this seed that Naomi's lost. And this man is nigh of kin unto us. This man is one of our own kindred, a relation, even in understanding, one of our near kinsmen. And that's what that means, this one of a relation, even one of our own understanding. 21. And Ruth, the Moabitess, said, Yes, he said unto me, You shall keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. And Ruth, the Moabitess, this female companion from her father, said, Yes, he said unto me, You shall keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. Until all my harvest are ended, you shall tarry here, even reaping, or even gleaning among the reapers, until all the harvests are finished. 22. And Naomi said unto Ruth, her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his maidens, and that you be not met in any other field. And Naomi, all this pleasantness, says unto her female companion, her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that you go with his handmaids, that you go with his maidens. So it's a good thing that you do go with these maidens, these ones who glean and come after these who work for. And these maidens are these feminine senses of these that work for Boaz, this one who comes quickly, and that you be not met in any other field or anybody else's field, see, because this is going to be this sign of loyalty, this sign of working and laboring for another in someone else's field. 23. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean unto the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, and she dwelt with her mother-in-law. So she stayed there, she kept fast by these maidens of Boaz, these these feminine, these young ones who of Boaz. These were these. We can look at this several different ways. These are these young ladies that would come and work in the fields, and these are these feminine senses of even strength. This one who comes quickly, these judgments of God even. See, because there's two stories being told here. This one of mercy, of this one who's going to come quickly, even this one who's going to be the king, and because God's showing this is the precursors during the time of judgment for the prophecies of what God's getting ready to do, and that's what we're going to find out. See, by the time we get done, these are just the prophecies even of the things that are coming. See, God says, I'm going to send my king soon. Elimelech is, my mighty one is the king, and Boaz is coming swiftly. And we'll find, see, we're not going to give it up. We're going to pick this up in chapter 3. Turn and return.